Hey everybody, welcome back to the Pet Food Puzzle Guy. My name is Glenn, and if you're one of the regular folks, I really appreciate you coming back. And if you're somebody new, I'd encourage you to check out some of my other videos to understand where I'm coming from. I've been in the pet food industry for 34 years, just retired, and basically discovered YouTube. And what I found on YouTube was a lot of bad information about pet food and canine and feline nutrition. So much so that I am about as technologically challenged as anybody you're ever going to meet, and somehow I figured out how to do this YouTube channel. So if you're just chiming in, welcome. And this is actually going to be a little different for those of you that know me. Ed, George, there's a whole bunch of you guys out there. Dr. Ray. I usually go after the pet food industry, which is kind of weird because it's an industry I love. It can do amazing things for dogs and cats, but it also can be very deceptive and do some lousy things. I guess that's true with any industry. So I'm really here just to try to educate you as the consumer. Please understand, here's nutrition over here and there's marketing over there. And I tell you what, marketing has just been running the show these days. So I thought instead of critiquing the industry, which I've done in many of my videos, I think there's about 23 videos now, kind of hard to believe, and I really enjoy doing this. This is what I want to do a little different. Hopefully I'm not, it's kind of funny, the name of the dog food is Jinx Dog Food. So they're kind of jinxed because they're the very first one that I'm going to actually pick on. So instead of picking on the industry, I think every now and then I'll just pick on a particular food that's doing all those marketing things that really aren't good. And what happened here was I was actually at Walmart, just going through Walmart with my wife. And whenever I'm in Walmart, you know, I'm a pet food freak. I got to go check out the pet food department. And lo and behold, what do I find? But here's this end cap of a brand new dog food called Jinx. And I had never heard of it. And the one thing that I recognized right away, because my daughter, when she was younger, well, she's still a Marvel fanatic, but when she was younger, of course, we had to go to all the movies. And so I know who this guy Chris Evans is from Captain America, and I'm sure he's done other stuff, but trust me, I had to look up his name on Google because I don't know any actors. But anyway, turns out here's the same cap. Him and his dog are promoting this new food, Jinx Dog Food. So it's a little bag and a sample of their treats, and it all comes in a little sample box for 20 bucks. So of course I had to go check it out. So I will tell you, I checked out the box and I also went to their website. And like most companies, there were good things to say and bad things to say. So this is going to seem like I'm just picking on them, and I'm really not. I will try to point out the good things, but you know, the marketing that pet food companies do, they all do it. I mean, there's not one that doesn't pull some of this stuff. Not all of it, but I mean, everybody does the chicken first. We all know that. But anyway, so I thought, let's go through this. I grabbed the sample box. I took some pictures. Pictures aren't that good, but you should be able to read along with me. And I'm just going to evaluate a food rather than a bunch of foods or the whole industry. Now, just as a side note here, here's Chris Evans, Captain America, and I remember when this was about 10 years ago or something like that. Now my daughter was in her teens and all her friends were over and they were talking about all the Marvel movies, and somehow it came up about this guy, Captain America, and how hot he was. And actually I don't think they use the term hot anymore. I don't know what term they used at the time, but anyway, you know, he was it. He was, and I said, well, hold on. With all those different Avenger guys, he's the one you guys all think is the hottest of all of them. And pretty much the majority did. And I thought, how weird. I mean, okay, now I'll put up his picture. He's a decent looking guy, but really, I mean, you're going to compare Captain America, squeaky clean, short haircut, you know, pretty nice beard there. You're going to compare him to this guy. I mean, now, I'm as straight as it goes, right? Just ask my wife and 3 kids. But tell you what, if there's any such thing as a man crush, I mean, this one's mine. I mean, look at this guy with the wavy hair, muscles everywhere, and then you add that accent. I mean, come on. You don't get much hotter than that, right? You ladies that are watching this video, come on. So I just thought, just as a side note, whatever, I'm just surprised that all these young girls picked this guy, Chris Evans, who looks like everybody on the street, nothing special compared to Thor. I'm sorry, that just didn't make any sense to me. So, anyway, again, I digress. Let's get back to pet food, but I just thought I had to mention it because I'm looking at his face and remembering that conversation. Okay, so this photo is right off the box, okay, and it says kibble, which is kind of funny because for a lot of you folks out there, kibble is from the devil, so it's kind of funny that they're choosing to do this, and we'll investigate why they did this. Okay, so kibble, expertly formulated and nutritionist approved for dogs of any age. Now, right there, I know Dr. Ray, a few other veterinarians that are on this channel, and many of you know, right there, that's a red flag. There is no such thing as an expertly formulated, nutritionist approved diet that is good for all ages. Doesn't exist. There's a expertly formulated and nutritionist approved diet for puppies and for adult dogs and for geriatric dogs, but that's three very different stages. And the way I'm going to use this, because it's just a mental picture that works for me, think about the nutrition that it takes to take that 8-week-old Bernese Mountain Dog. It's one of my favorite breeds, so, and they get big, so let's use them. 8 weeks old, this big, just a ball of love and fluff, right? And within about a year or so, he's going to be, if it's a male, he's going to be about 100 pounds, maybe even more, within 100 years, within a year. Think about the nutrition it takes. Think about the amount of protein and fat and minerals and just you name it, everything in that diet to grow that little 8-week-old puppy into that giant breed dog. They're telling you that their experts are telling you, their nutritionists are telling you that the same nutrition you'd give that 8-week-old puppy to achieve that growth, that's the same nutrition you could give your 11-year-old grizzled Labrador retriever that basically sleeps on the couch, pees and poops outside, and comes back in and sleeps on the couch again. I'm sorry. And the whole idea that, oh, you just feed less to the old guy and more to the puppy, that's ridiculous. Anybody that's in nutrition knows it's the ratio of all those different nutrients. For every calorie that puppy gets, how much of the other things do they need? For every calorie we give that geriatric dog, which is very different, not just the amount of calories, but the ratio of all those other nutrients. So right there, we'll give them a -1 here on this. Our dry dog food contains premium proteins like organic chicken. So here we go. They're giving you organic chicken. And you can bet it's going to be the first ingredient, of course. Patented probiotics. I'm not big a fan of probiotics. I mean, if you need them for a short term because they've been on antioxidants or antibiotics or something like that, but to just put a dog on probiotics, you're adding bacteria that's foreign to the dog. It's never going to colonize in the dog. It's just there really to treat GI issues. So I'm not a big probiotics person, and I do doubt how can this stuff still survive the process of cooking and all that. So whatever, there's probiotics. And I think I cut it off, but I think it says, and 20 functional superfoods. So wow, superfoods, there you go. Not really sure what a superfood is, but they've got a bunch of them in here. So there you go. There's the first. We're not too thrilled here. So what I did, I went to their website. I mean, just to be fair, why just look at their box? They can't put everything on their box. So let's go to their website and see what the website says. So one of the Q&A, which is really good. First question: why kibble? And I'm sure many of you out there are like, why kibble? The kibble's terrible. The kibble destroys all the nutrients. It's too high in carbs. It's awful. Blah blah blah. It's just a ripoff. So their answer, I'm going to read it. I don't normally read other people's stuff, but this is pretty good. This is something that needs to be said. Here's the scoop. Backed by decades of scientific research, and decades is correct, kibble proves to be the simplest and safest way to ensure your dog is getting a balanced diet. And that's the key. Ensure that they're getting a balanced diet of nutrients. Okay, this is the easiest way to do that. It's cost effective compared to other things, true. Easy to store with low risk of spoilage, very true, and can help promote healthier teeth and gums. I need a buzzer, maybe a liar buzzer or something, but dry food does not help promote better dental care of teeth and gums. It just doesn't, okay? It sounds good. Milk-bone for years, kind of push that it clean the teeth. Anybody that's in the industry really knows that's not true. You have to buy a veterinary diet that actually is designed to do that. But dry food, sorry, doesn't do it. So they're pushing a little bit. You know your dog best, but we unanimously decided that kibble was the kind of food we wanted to both make and feed our dogs. As it turns out, every nutritionist and industry expert that we consulted also feeds their own dogs kibble. That's pretty interesting. I know most veterinarians feed dry, some feed canned based on different reasons, but you know, I don't want to bash everything they say, and I don't want to back everything they say, but I don't know if I'd say every nutritionist and industry expert feeds kibble, but I am sure the majority do. I know the nutritionists I know that worked at Hills, where I came from, for 34 years. They had no problem with kibble. So I think that's a new marketing trick that is worth another video. But anyway, so I'll give them the Jinx. That was pretty good information. You know, got to give them credit. Okay, here's another good piece of information that I saw from their website, and they're saying, is less animal protein really healthier for my dog? The question, I guess, would be from somebody looking at the ingredient panel and seeing there's a combination of meat and plant protein in this diet. So what's their answer? And again, I'm sorry I'm reading these, but these are just too good, and it's worth hearing, because you hear it from me in some of my videos. It's nice to hear it from somebody else. Since modern dogs have replaced hunting and roaming with trips to doggy daycare and lounging around, it's no surprise that the amount of protein required has changed with their lifestyle. It's not so much the protein, though it's true they've domesticated where now their digestive tract can actually handle carbohydrates and things where their ancestors couldn't. So I guess that's what they're getting at here. Protein needs don't really change that much, though. For easy digestion and optimal nutritional health, the modern dog should eat a high-quality protein medley, I like that word, medley, from diverse sources in moderate amounts. Whoa, hold on, I love that. A medley of diverse sources. In other words, combining sources of protein, which, what are you doing? You're combining amino acids, getting the most of the essential amino acids that the animal needs. A nutritionist just a couple weeks ago said to me, your dog doesn't care where those amino acids come from as long as they get them, whether it's from the corn gluten meal, the methionine, or whether it's the taurine from the meat, as long as they get them, that's all that matters. So I really like that. And I love this, in moderate amounts. How many times have you seen the marketing? What does the company say? We're double the protein of that guy. We have more protein than anybody. We're high protein. We're the highest protein. We pack as much protein as possible. I saw one of Smack or somebody out there. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's absurd language, but it works. It works on consumers. As anybody that's a nutritionist would say, and I think they actually say it here. So I'm sorry, I'm getting crazy here. Let's get back. Here you go. Unused calorie-rich protein is broken down, and guess what? It's stored as fat. Well, that makes a lot of sense. We made the kidneys and everything has to work hard, break down all this stuff, and we're going to turn it into fat anyway, which the animal doesn't need. Oh, that's just great. I'm sorry, back to the stored as fat, resulting in weight gain, and excess amino acids then end up in their number 2. It's kind of funny they can't even say stool or poop, but they're in their number 2. Each Jinx recipe combines only high-quality proteins from a mix of sources. Animal, and then they have organic chicken, fresh salmon, egg, superfoods, sweet potato, pumpkin, carrots. Our healthful proteins are combined with whole grains that are easily absorbed and important in a complete and balanced daily diet. You know, I got to say, I mean, there's a lot of things I don't like about this company, but I love the information they're putting here. That is totally accurate. You're trying to create a complete and balanced diet, not just meat's good, meat's best, meat's better than corn, my dog's a wolf. Come on, really? You're buying into marketing and looking like a dope, and you're hurting your animal in the meantime. So again, I love this. It's just it's a combination of proteins. That's what a real nutritionist is going to do, because there's not only the concern of providing amino acids at the right levels, it's all the minerals that come along with that. And meat protein, I'm sorry, meat protein delivers a lot of minerals. So you got to be careful with meat. You've got to use other alternatives, whether it's eggs, soy, corn, gluten meal, whatever. So that's what they're talking about here. So, I mean, I gotta love their information. Okay. Now I just said, I just praised them, right? Now I gotta shoot them down again. They're jinxed, being the first ones to go through this. But does Jinx kibble contain fillers like corn, wheat, or soy? Now you guys can watch my video on what I call it, the corn, wheat, and soy BS, I think. But let's see. They've been pretty credible in the stuff they're saying, except all life stages, feeding puppy food to an adult dog. But let's see what their answer is here is. I'll put it up. No fillers here! Exclamation point. Here we go. Our recipes are completely free of corn, wheat, and soy. Instead of empty calories, I guess they're trying to say you get empty calories from corn, wheat, and soy. Corn is as a carbohydrate, is a secondary energy source to fats. So empty calories, that's a little interesting. You know, I don't know, but empty calories to me means you're just getting calories and nothing else. Excuse me, what about the protein that you get in corn? What about the fiber that you get in corn? Fiber that's necessary for GI health. What about the fatty acids you get from corn that are great for skin and coat? Linoleic acid, vital for fat soluble vitamins. What about that? You're going to ignore that and say it's just empty calories. Soy protein, the amino acids that soy protein contributes to the diet, a meat diet, you're going to totally ignore those. So either this company doesn't know anything, or they're lying to you. It's one or the other. But either way, I'm not really interested in their food. But let's see. Okay, I hate picking on one brand. This is kind of, I hate doing this, but I'm sorry. I just have to show this. So the ingredient panel, which is what you all love, and I'm sure everybody that was at Walmart and went over to that end cap and, oh, it's Chris, oh, and then they looked at the food and then started reading the things on the box about how wonderful the diet is with their council of veterinary nutritionists and dog nutritionists and all that. At some point, they got to the ingredient panel because everybody wants to see that. So this is a really great example of an ingredient panel that shows how sneaky these manufacturers are. Okay, I did a video on, or I think it actually was pretty short, maybe it was a short, I can't remember now. Yeah, I think it was a short. Natural is a real definition. It means you've made no chemical changes to the ingredients in that food, and many foods could actually call themselves natural. Okay. Holistic was one that we talked about in the short. Holistic means nothing. Okay, so I'm kind of going off on a tangent a little bit here, but I want to, this will make sense doing this. So holistic, a word that you may go, oh yes, I only feed holistic to my dogs. My veterinarians would hear that all the time in my clinics, that they'd always say, oh yeah, as soon as somebody started saying they feed nothing but holistic, I knew it was going to be a long day trying to have a conversation with them, because they're basically into this cult religion, and it's just nuts. And so anyway, holistic means nothing. It has no legal definition. A food company can put holistic on their bag. They can charge you extra for it. They don't have to do anything different with processing. They don't have to do anything different with ingredient sourcing. Literally, it means nothing. I need something like, I don't know, crickets chirping, or I don't know, something. There's absolutely no research behind holistic. It doesn't exist. But it definitely helps many of you, and you know who you are, to spend extra money to buy that food. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. I'm sorry you felt good buying holistic. It sounded so good to you. You can look up the definition. It makes you warm and fuzzy. And that's why they use it. Okay? But it means nothing. But organic actually means something. Organic ingredients that are in a pet food have to go through the same stringent rules as any organic food for humans. The difference is you're not just buying chicken or organic vegetables or whatever from Sprouts, when you buy that kibble, you're buying a complete diet. You're buying all those ingredients in that one kibble, and that's where they get you. AFCO made sure, and AFCO, I tell you, they're the worst. AFCO, NRC, all of them, they just make it so hard for you as a consumer to know what you're buying. But they say, oh, well, if you want to use organic food or organic ingredients in your food, you can call it organic. Well, how much of it has to be organic and how much of it can be other stuff? I think it's like, and I'm sorry, I don't know, maybe you could Google this. I think it's like 10 or 20% has to be organic. The rest could be whatever. Okay. Now that sounds very vague. Okay. So let me show you in action on an ingredient panel how this works. So I'm just having too much fun tonight. But even I do feel bad blasting one food company because it's not nice. I like blasting the whole industry, but I'm sorry they put it out here. So here's the ingredient panel. First ingredient, organic chicken. Remember they said we get our protein from organic chicken. Well, there it is. Now again, if you know me or know the industry or if you know my videos, we know chicken is the first ingredient. It's probably the biggest scam ever. Ingredient panels go by weight, not by volume or how much the ingredient is there, just by weight. So if you're a manufacturer and you know that, and they all do, since 1987 when Purina pulled that stunt with ProPlan, they know that a little bit of chicken meat with the water still included is going to go right to the front of the ingredient panel. You have no idea the quality of that meat. It could be human grade. It could be 4D meat, dead, diseased, dying, and disabled. Yeah, that's horrible, but I'm sorry, it is actually a thing. You have no way of knowing. All you know is chicken is the first ingredient, and they all do that just to get you to spend more money thinking you're getting more meat. Usually there'll be another source of protein in that food, okay? And usually it'll be a meal. Now here's the other thing that makes me nuts, and that dog nutritionist in London has this weird warped idea, like many do. Meat meal's bad because it's a meal. It's been overcooked and processed. You want fresh meat where you get all the amino acids. That's bogus, okay? That is totally wrong. I can show you fresh meat where it's nothing but garbage, or it could be human grade organ meat or human grade muscle meat from chicken. You have no idea of knowing unless you look at the mineral content. And I could show you chicken meal. All it means is it's been cooked and dried into a powder. But guess what? It could be a much higher grade than the fresh chicken over here. And this guy should know this. He's a dog nutritionist. He's certified. Somehow he doesn't know this. Just drives me nuts. The people out there making videos, calling themselves whatever. I'm not calling myself anything. I'm just somebody who's been around this industry for a long time, and I know every secret there is. Okay, so what do they do? So chicken, organic chicken is the first ingredient. What's the next ingredient? Chicken meal. There's your protein source, but you notice. Do you notice it? It doesn't say organic chicken meal, it just says chicken meal. So the little bit of chicken with the water weight that got to the front of the ingredient panel is registered organic. I trust them. But the main protein source, where all the protein's coming from, the weight of that powder, that's all the protein, that's not coming from organic chicken, that's coming from regular chicken. You see that? Organics was a company that actually did the same thing, and I looked at their ingredient panel not too long ago, and guess what? They changed it. Organic chicken is the first ingredient, organic chicken meal is the second ingredient. Kudos to them. They actually did what was honest, okay? Whether organic is good or not, I don't know. I like using organic food. It seems like that makes sense, but there's no proof yet of the true benefit of it to your dog or cat. But I don't want you to think you're paying for organic when you're not. And here's an example of this ingredient panel where, boy, they were sneaky. Organic chicken is the first ingredient, and guess what? You don't look at chicken meal and think, I wonder if that's organic. I wonder if the peas are organic. There's nothing organic in there except that little bit of meat with all the water weight. So you all know me. I want to know the exact nutrient levels of any diet that I'm talking about. So what did I do? I called the 800 number for Jinx, and I got a machine, and or actually I'm trying to think now. I've called so many food companies. Actually, I don't think they had an 800 number, but they had an email. So I emailed them and said that I was looking for the protein in grams per 100 kcals and the calcium, phosphorus, and sodium in milligrams per 100 kcals or 1,000 kcals, whichever. I could do the math for that. But if they could please send that to me, I'd appreciate it. And I got an email back saying, we've received your request and we'll be getting a hold of you within 24, 48 hours. I thought, hey, that's pretty good. I get an email from them. It's a very polite email, but it said, pretty much in a nutshell, our mineral levels and our protein levels are appropriate for any dog, and thank you for your inquiry, blah, blah, blah. So, in other words, just trust us. Trust our Council of Veterinary Nutritionists, I guess, or not veterinary, dog nutritionists. Um, so I have no idea. I have no idea what their actual nutrient levels are. But because Chris there is recommending it, I should run out and buy it. Now, maybe if Thor was recommending it, that'd be a different story. But I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So anyway, Jinx got to be jinxed to be the very first food company of me to critique a little bit. Interesting how they told you a few really good informational things about combining proteins, but they really blew it with the diet, and some of their marketing is pretty lame. And so anyway, there you go. That's my first critique of a brand, and I kind of feel bad because you know, they didn't know somebody like me would be out there that knows all these tricks. But anyway, this would not be one that I would recommend you try. I don't see any reason why, unless you're a big Captain America fan. So anyway, please let me know what you think of all this, and we'll see you next time.